American rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail as he awaits trial on federal charges. Combs pleaded not guilty to racketeering, sex trafficking and transporting for prostitution in a New York court.
You've been able to speak to your son.
What did you say to him when you visited him in court? Is he doing? How are you feeling today?
That's been making headlines. What started as a typical day in court quickly turned into something much more shocking when Diddy tried to make a desperate move to escape the consequences of his actions. This wasn't just a minor hiccup, it was an all-out attempt to avoid facing what's been closing in on him for months. But before we dive into that surprising moment, let's take a look at how Diddy built his empire. Diddy didn't just get lucky. He worked hard to get where he is. His journey started in the early 90s when he was an intern at Uptown Records. It didn't take long for him to stand out thanks to his eye for talent and sharp business sense. Soon enough, he started moving up the ranks in the music world. When he left Uptown, it was clear he had bigger plans. Those plans came to life in 1993 when he founded Bad Boy Records. Diddy wasted no time making Bad Boy a major force in the music scene, signing huge stars like the notorious B.I.G., Maze, and Faith Evans. These artists didn't just top the charts, they helped define 90s hip-hop and R&B. Bad Boy Records became synonymous with success, and Diddy was at the helm, driving it forward. His empire grew even bigger when he branched out into other industries. He launched his fashion line, Sean John, which became a staple of urban style. He also created the fragrance Unforgivable, which made waves in the luxury market, and he found success with his premium vodka, Ciroc, solidifying his place in the liquor industry. With every new venture, Diddy expanded his brand and built an empire worth millions. At the peak of his success, he was one of the wealthiest figures in entertainment, with a net worth of nearly $900 million. But as his empire grew, so did whispers about his darker side. Rumors about his involvement in shady activities had been circulating for years, but nothing ever seemed to stick until now. In recent months, a wave of serious accusations has come to light, starting with a bombshell lawsuit that put Diddy at the center of a criminal investigation. The lawsuit revealed troubling claims about Diddy's alleged involvement in a secret network designed to exploit young women and manipulate those around him for his personal benefit. The details were disturbing, and as the legal battle unfolded, it became clear that this was no longer just talk. Diddy was facing a legal nightmare that could potentially destroy everything he had worked so hard to build.
It's this detention center in Brooklyn, and he is in this very special portion of the facility that offers an extra layer of security for high-profile individuals who could be targeted among the general population. And that could mean that he's limited to facilities like the library and the phone, so could make it hard, his lawyers are saying, for him to be able to prepare for trial. And because of all of this, Combs' attorney is actually asking for him to be moved to a New Jersey jail. But a judge said that that's ultimately going to be up to the Bureau of Prisons to decide. I mean, he can continue to appeal this and can appeal the bond, right? But you saw that with Ghislaine Maxwell. She continued to appeal and was not successful. Now, two federal judges saying, you got to stay behind bars.
As the evidence piled up, the pressure on Diddy grew unbearable, and what happened next shocked everyone in the courtroom. Each day brought more witnesses and evidence that painted a disturbing picture of Diddy's alleged crimes. People began speaking out, detailing how they had been manipulated and controlled, while others revealed their direct involvement in his illegal activities. Federal agents even raided his homes, uncovering crucial evidence that linked Diddy to the charges he was facing. What began as a few accusations quickly escalated into a massive legal case that seemed impossible to escape. Prosecutors presented a strong case, with years' worth of evidence and chilling testimony from witnesses about exploitation. Documents recovered during the raids only tied Diddy closer to various illegal operations. The media frenzy surrounding the case was relentless, with new updates and shocking revelations coming out daily. As the pressure mounted, it was clear that Diddy was no longer just fighting a legal case. He was fighting for his freedom. The tension in the courtroom was palpable, and many began to wonder how long he could hold on. Then, in an unexpected twist, Diddy made a move that no one saw coming. In a desperate attempt to flee, Diddy bolted from his seat and rushed for the exit. Chaos erupted in the courtroom as his legal team scrambled in confusion, and court officers quickly moved to intercept him. Within seconds, officers tackled Diddy to the ground, but the damage had already been done. His impulsive escape attempt not only embarrassed him, but also harmed his case. This dramatic moment became a critical turning point in the trial. Diddy, a man worth millions, was now seen trying to flee like a fugitive, reinforcing the prosecutor's argument that he was guilty of serious crimes. This act of desperation painted a clear picture. Diddy was panicking, overwhelmed by the mounting charges against him. His attempt to escape now became another key piece of evidence, showing that he was a flight risk, someone so afraid of facing the consequences that he couldn't even stay in the courtroom. This bold move only strengthened the case against him and made it clear that he had a lot to hide.
This is just into the newsroom. A second judge has decided not to grant bail to Sean Diddy Combs. This is what we know today. This judge deciding that there are no conditions that would ensure the safety of the community or prevent Combs from tampering with witnesses.
Diddy's desperate attempt to flee has sent his entire empire into a downward spiral, and his future looks bleaker than ever. The fallout was swift and intense. His escape didn't just bring him embarrassment in front of the media. It led to serious legal consequences. Within hours, prosecutors filed motions to add new charges, including obstruction of justice and attempting to flee custody. These charges could result in even harsher penalties, piling on top of the already serious accusations against him. The humiliation was just the beginning. Legal experts quickly noted that this reckless act could hurt his case. The attempt to flee made him appear unreliable and untrustworthy in the eyes of the court, which could lead to a more severe sentence if he's found guilty. Prosecutors now had a stronger argument that Diddy was a flight risk and a danger to the community, which could impact the conditions of his bail or detention. Diddy also faced growing public scrutiny. His escape attempt made it even harder to find impartial jurors. With the media attention already weighing heavily on the case, the dramatic incident made it nearly impossible for any jurors to remain unbiased, further damaging his chances for a fair trial. Outside the courtroom, Diddy's business empire was crumbling. Brands that had long been associated with his success started distancing themselves. Ciroc Vodka, a key source of his wealth, announced they were reassessing their partnership with him. Other companies, like Macy's, which sold his Sean John clothing line, quietly backed away as well. Deals that once seemed secure evaporated, and Diddy's once thriving business empire was falling apart. The damage to his wealth was becoming clear. His $900 million fortune, built on music, fashion, and spirits, was now in jeopardy. The ongoing legal battles, settlements, and lost business opportunities could bankrupt him. The mogul who once made lucrative deals with a single phone call was now seen as a liability. Even his cultural influence, which had been solid for decades, was fading. Once the trendsetter who defined what was cool, Diddy was now losing the support of the very culture that had once celebrated him. His fall from grace was undeniable, his empire, fortune, and reputation all hanging by a thread.
If Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. And Gates. Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory. I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation.
There are a lot of videos, apparently. Those rooms on the island, I think out in New Mexico, were wired for video.
Right. And where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of footage.
From mogul to fugitive, Diddy's courtroom dash could very well be the final blow to his legacy. With his desperate escape attempt now added to an already explosive trial, Diddy faces an incredibly tough road ahead, both legally and personally. The charges he's facing are serious, and his attempt to flee shows just how much he understands the gravity of the situation. Legally, this could mean even harsher sentencing if he's convicted, and the additional charges of obstruction and trying to escape won't help him when it's time for the jury to decide his fate. His once mighty control over his business empire is slipping away quickly, with every new development making a comeback seem more unlikely. On a personal level, Diddy may have hit rock bottom. His reputation is in ruins, his finances are falling apart, and his empire is on the verge of collapse. For a man who once built his image on being untouchable, watching it all unravel so publicly and humiliatingly is a huge blow. It's hard to see how he can recover from this, and even harder to imagine whether any of his former business partners or supporters will stand by him once the dust settles. Fans are already weighing in, with many sharing their thoughts on the situation. One person wrote, "No one is above the law, and this is proof. I just hope justice is served regardless of how famous he is." Another commented,